Alright. Hello and welcome to the cafe. My name is Leaf and I'm joined by one Stray Rogue
Hello.
and one Pixel Moon.
Hello.
How have you guys been? How are you doing?
All
Tired as
right.
fuck.
I had some bathroom issues this morning, but besides that, I'm all right.
Oh, bummer.
I definitely echo the tired as fuck part.
I slept so bad because I was anxious about getting Holly to the vet on time to get spayed.
mm.
And
Mm.
so I woke up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.,
Ah,
7 a.m., which was on time for what I wanted to wake up at. It
Hi
was
Marco, hi Vap.
a lot.
I can't say that I had that problem. I slept like nearly 12 hours, almost 13 hours. Um, I'm just tired because of biological reasons and then also having spent the last, well, not the last hour, but the hour before that in the kitchen, cooking and everything,
yeah.
which still
So
gets
the
me sweaty and
the
tired.
guy from Domino's that you're digesting is not working out so good, huh? He's kicking and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Except it's not that.
No, I know that I was
Maybe
making a coy VTuber joke.
Mm-hmm.
maybe the guy from Domino's was licking toes because
Nope,
you're lactose
not that.
intolerant, right?
Yep.
You fool!
uh,
Lactose and tolerant.
I mean, I like my version better.
Good.
I
Well,
am good.
surprisingly,
Clearly has no bread.
the Dominoes went down pretty decently and hasn't been bothering me,
hmm
which I totally expected it to because, cheesy dip and all
Cheese.
that.
Maybe they have a no cheese like that nutritional yeast
Mm,
flavoring.
Let me get my tin hat ready for today.
maybe.
Oh, by the way, I finally got to have Impossible chicken nuggets. I forgot to tell you guys.
How did that go?
All right.
So the reason why we had them at all was we now have a Noodles and Company in our town specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, let's, patronize them tonight as our food source. And this was last weekend. And
Jesus.
Scott got half Parmesan chicken and half Impossible chicken as the topping protein for his
Mm-hmm.
noodles. And
Possible
he
Parmesan
gave me
chicken.
one piece, and it was like, oh, this just tastes like chicken. This is really fucking weird. Because, like, not even the texture was different.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a
Yeah.
fact it was one of the chicken nuggets because the reason why I call them chicken nuggets is just the Impossible chicken that they had. It was just cut up chicken nuggets. So
Mm-hmm.
it was actually really impressive. So I bought a bag today when I was grocery shopping.
Well,
Because it
that's
was like,
good.
yeah, man, like, let's get that for Scott as like a snack or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. That's a treat.
I'm still a big fan of their burgers though. Their burgers are good. No, that is Impossible. I was like, or is that the Beyond ones? No, it's definitely Impossible brand.
Yeah, because both of them have chicken nuggets, both of them have sausage, and both of them have, quote-unquote, unreal beef.
Does not Impossible. Does the Beyond make meatballs? Because I know that
Yes.
Impossible meat has meatballs at our store that I've been side eyeing, but like,
But
no.
I would strongly warn against, Beyond Meat because it's very heavy on the mushroom flavor. Like,
Well, if you don't, yeah.
I would only get those if I was, specifically looking for a mushroom flavor in my food. Like, if I was
Mhm.
making a mushroom burger or something, or
Yeah.
like a mushroom and Swiss, then I would absolutely go for the Beyond Meat and eat that because the mushroom is supposed to be there. But Impossible
Mhm.
actually tastes like just regular beef.
Yeah. Well, okay. I actually I take that back. It doesn't taste like regular beef. It just tastes good, but in its own way because like it has such a nice the my favorite fucking thing about the frozen patties, because I couldn't get this on the fresh patties, is that you can get a nice crust on the outside
Hmm.
that is so tasty. Excellent Maillard reaction. Um, and also like even though they've mimicked the texture and flavor pretty damn well, it's still got something extra savory about it that I don't think you've experienced in all beef. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like cheaper beef, you kind of lose that. It loses its edge.
Okay, let me correct myself. It tastes like the actual patties that like have a flavor to them.
Yeah.
Because if I were to compare it to like Wendy's burgers, Impossible Burgers are better because Wendy's patties just don't have any flavor.
See, I've never.
It just tastes
Wait,
like
no.
dry beef.
See, the problem with me is I get a junior. It's called a Son of Baconator. Excuse me.
Hmm.
And I can't vouch for dryness because they smother that in ketchup and mayo. So I'm like, yeah, burger.
I mean, I usually get a Baconator there, and like
So
the
the
worst thing
Baconator
is,
comes out dry too. Okay.
yeah, the worst thing is that if I have a Baconator like back to back after having a Jack in the Box double bacon cheese or whatever they call it,
Mm-hmm.
um the Jack in the Box one tastes a lot better. It actually has flavor to it, whereas the Baconator has no flavor.
I wonder if they don't season their meat.
Most
Like,
likely.
yeah.
It almost
'Cause yeah,
tastes like dry
mostly,
chipped beef.
huh. Mostly what I taste when I eat the Son of Baconator is the bacon and the condiments rather than the burger itself, which is fine. I have a similar experience with my favorite insane invention from the Greek joint, or not Greek joint, the it's now a barbecue joint, excuse me. But they took gyro meat and put it on top of their shitty burger patties and put some tzatziki sauce on top and called it a gyro burger. And boy, fucking good.
Mm.
I would take just gyro meat on a burger bun, frankly. Forget the shitty burger patty, but it worked. Fucking worked to get a burger out the door. Damn, it's good.
Yeah, sometimes you find places that just they do it right and they have good food.
Yeah,
That's our
like
local like sub diner, basically.
Just like there's a place down here called Shawarma King.
Mm.
It's in technically in the next town over, but it's close enough. Hello, Coco.
Coco.
hello.
Coco is here, secret and early.
Yes, because I noticed that they were pushing Danganronpa to Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I did see that.
Um, but yeah,
Quick, nobody talk about AI summoning file.
there's a place called Shawarma King that obviously serves shawarma gyro. Um,
Hmm.
but even like their best item there is their falafels because their falafels actually have like a nice rounded out savory taste to their lentil beans and their chickpeas.
Hmm. I want to eat
So,
it.
yeah, so
I haven't
that's
had
usually what I
falafel
prefer.
since I was going to school in Chicago, and that stuff's good. I'm doing good. How about you, Coco? What about you guys? What will you say to Coco?
I'm doing okay. I'm just tired. I'm trying to finish up food.
Hi, Coco. That's what I say, Coco.
Merda.
I had chicken with a ranch sauce and bacon and broccoli. That's what I
Nice.
made tonight.
Whew. I made some hamburgers
Very nice.
and burgers. I also had some veggie chicken nuggies left. I had like
Mm.
5, I think. So I
Mm-hmm.
cooked them up and put them on a bun.
Hey,
Chicken sando.
Rogue doing good. Rogue is doing good.
I hope Vap actually managed to sleep.
I hope Vap slept too. But I have a feeling the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
That means hugs. Gives him up something. So,
Many hugs to Vap.
I had the weirdest improvised dinner. Well, not the weirdest thing I've ever made, but I just, for some reason, had feature creep in my dinner. So I was like, I'm just gonna fry some chickpeas and season them as my dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Soft fry. And then my brain was like, hey, we got some green onions in the fridge. Let's get some green onions out and throw that in there. So I threw in some green onions. And then I was like, you know what? I'd rather have like some liquid with this. So let's like throw in water with when we season the chickpeas. And I'm like, okay, 1 cup water, seasoning, close it.
mm-hmm.
Standing around, then I'm thinking about crispy rice. I'm like, I don't have any rice though. Fuck. And then I kind of like slide my eyes over toward where my dry rice is, and I'm like, ah, fuck, okay. So I throw in a 2/3 cup of rice into the water, and then I put on my timer for 20 minutes, and I leave. And I came back, and unfortunately, I used the wrong pot to do real crispy rice, so most of it had to be scraped really difficultly off the bottom. But, and I broke a spoon doing that, a wooden spoon. But it was less because the rice was super hard and more because I used a spoon right out of the dishwasher.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's still waterlogged.
Yeah, kind of. It felt dry on the outside, but I didn't
the
realize
inside,
how.
no.
Yeah. So I snapped. It had been around for forever too, so that's what really sucked. I was like, damn it, why did I do that? Yeah, it was really tasty. I ate the whole fucking thing. Toru was trying to eat my dinner while I was upstairs with her. I gave her a little tiny taste off of my finger, and she was like going apeshit trying to get into my bowl after that. Like she was already trying, but you know.
Yeah, when I sat down to eat down here for the last hour, Mina was being a bug and trying to get on my desk where my food is. Not because she wanted to eat it, just because she wanted to sit on the desk.
She just loves you so much. She's so like, no, my mom.
She's a brat. But Vap, glad to hear that you at least slept well. Hope everything else gets better.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, that needs the hugs.
Oh, I ate some of the Magic Spoon cereal this morning with vanilla soy milk, and damn does that improve the flavor, like, a ton. Like, it was already pretty good to start with, but it got even better because of the vanilla soy milk.
The s'mores cereal bar is so fucking good.
Hey.
I was screaming at Leaf in the DMs last night.
I'm glad you were able to
Finally
find one
found
that
one.
you liked better.
Yeah. One that did not need milk is really what it came down to. That one is just good by itself. Oh. So I got that meds, those meds, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So I went and bought a bunch of shit, and like this is second time. So I got a sleepy time tea that I'm gonna try tonight, which is like a honey sleepy time tea, and then I got a chai, like black tea bag, a vanilla chai tea bag rather, and boy, it sure was chai in smell, but not like very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose I shouldn't expect that much out of the Bigelow tea brand.
The Bigelow, yeah.
Yeah. Also, the reason why I got Sleepy Time tea is because Coco mentioned being knocked out by Sleepy Time tea, so I'm like, I want to get in on that. Since the regular chamomile didn't do it quite so well. Oh, and also, I tried, have you ever seen, like, that kind of It's Everywhere green tea brand from Japan. Like, it's everywhere in Japan. It's, I think, called Oi
No,
Ocha.
I don't
You
think
might
so.
recognize it. Where is it? Listen. It's from Itoin. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Google.
That's a thing.
That's an image. Wait, I'm not
No,
allowed to delete my own messages from the chat roll. That's interesting.
I got you.
There.
I'm
Why
trying
am
to
I
get
not
you.
allowed to delete my own goddamn messages?
I mean, you are a
Cannot delete
moderator.
messages from moderator.
Oh, that's weird.
Anyway.
And I can't delete it either.
The link is so big. It scared Coco. No, but that's the green tea type, and it's unsweetened green tea.
Yeah, I've
So I
seen it
tried
in
that.
Daiso.
Yeah, it doesn't
Mm.
have much flavor, but it was fine. Like, that's definitely a drink you get when you're more or less like just needing hydration. I could uncharitably describe it as leaf water.
I see.
But it was you know, it was palatable if you're thirsty. Me, you know, I was like, how can I improve this? And since Leaf was like, put honey in tea, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go pour a bunch of honey in this tea. And so I did that, and then I had it, and it was like, it canceled out most of the subtle bitter notes, but it doesn't taste like anything but water now. Poured in more honey, and then it became honey tea. So I hope you paid Leaf $200 for it. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it since it's an import brand.
Jeez.
Listen, I have to deal with what I have to deal with living in the middle of nowhere.
Just calling
just
it
wanted
leaf
to try
water
it.
was ironic. That's like every time
no.
Zach says leaf blower now, he starts giggling.
I was doing a leaf, what do you call that? Mulch. I was using the mulcher function on our leaf blower today.
Uh-huh.
So you could call that a leaf sucker. Anyway, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, at least no one here has done what Corey has done, which is call Cora a leaf blower.
He's only telling the truth.
Once again, we haven't had any intimate relations in real life.
Yet.
Just on Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, you have a lizard. You could get on.
Wait, that just makes it an electric leaf blower.
Speaking of electric leaf blower, though, the mulcher, I very briefly today fucking forgot that you have to plug that thing in, since most of my dad's tools are battery operated. But I used it last, 2 days ago, and so I should have remembered, considering it was so recent. But no, I took the thing out there and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to use it. And then I was like, wait a minute, god damn it, I have to go get the fucking extension cord and roll it out. I had to fix the extension cord. I had to unroll it all the fucking way, because my dad has like these mad long cables, right? And I had to make it so, because like somehow the man rolled it back up with the part that you plug into things inside of it, like underneath all of the wire, so it made it useless to like part and parcel out as you would need, rather than what I had to do. So I fixed that, and it worked beautifully today, instead of me having to stab myself repeatedly trying to roll the damn thing back up. The reason why I stabbed myself, though, was because plug end kept getting untucked from the part of the wheel that I had tucked it in, so it wouldn't get tucked in. So it was whapping me in the knuckles.
Ow.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like it hurts.
Yeah.
Up says, I would have added just plain black tea. you know. Yeah, but we don't have not powdered teas. What do you call it? We don't have loose leaf teas in my household. Like, my mom's not. My parents are normally coffee drinkers in the first place. My mom has little packets of Bigelow green tea and little packets of the chamomile for like a random like thing to have. I'm still learning how to steep tea properly. I did the chai Puritz directions, and it turned out fine. I just added milk to it and a little bit of sugar.
Yeah, which is usually how it's drunk.
Yeah. I try them as is before I like dose them up, because like I know how I like my coffee, but like with tea it's completely new, whole new everything.
Well, like, it's funny because everyone's just like, oh yeah, tea has all these varieties of flavors. Coffee does too. Depending on the
Yeah.
type of bean
Yeah.
that you get, it has a different flavor.
Yeah, I love my coffee really fucking cheap.
Like the type of
no
bean,
joke.
how you
Like, I'm
roast
not-
it.
Yeah, like I'm not joking about that though, because like, oh yeah, I love like a nicer coffee bean. That always tastes like interesting. But like I have the oh, do you remember in the Oron High School host club? The Commoners
Instant coffee?
Commoners crystallized instant coffee. Yeah, that's the stuff I have in my house because I was using that for the whipped coffee thing. I can't remember what it was called. Dalgona. Yeah. Like I had that in the house, and then I just started being like, why am I going to the fucking why am I going to the trouble of Dalgona coffee when basically I just basically like milk coffee? Like,
Yep.
I like a shitty bitter coffee with milk and a little bit of sugar.
Yeah, for me, I have a Mexican brand of coffee. Well, not Mexican brand, but it is from the Latin aisle of the store. And it's all in Spanish. So it's just like, I can't really read it, but I kind of understand a little bit of what it is. And it's instant coffee from, it's technically from Nestle. It's Nescafe, but it's the cinnamon coffee that they have.
Oh, that sounds...
It's super
I bet
delicious.
my mom would like that. My mom's a cinnamon person.
I am also a cinnamon person.
Wait, do you... Okay, when I say cinnamon person, I mean my mom can eat the red hots. Do you eat the red hots?
No. No, that's too spicy.
Yeah, that hurts my nose. Like, pain on tongue.
Yeah, I won't eat cinnamon candy, but, like, I'll eat everything else that's cinnamon.
Yeah, I
also will not
that's
do the cinnamon challenge.
Sugar.
I will not do the cinnamon challenge. That's just...
Do you want to look like you sucked off a mummy? Damn, no. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Just eating dust.
That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in terms of reactions to, like, shit people do. It's like, damn, you look like you just sucked off the mummy from The Mummy 1999.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which stage of mummy?
The not juicy version, like the straight out of the sarcophagus, like the
straight out of the box.
Well, no, wait, he was juicy in the box. That's right, and that's why it was so gross. The one that comes after he eats the first guy, so he kind of looks like beef jerky.
Gotcha.
Like he's full CGI at that point.
Like properly mummified.
Yes.
I don't know why, but all this talking about cinnamon just for some reason reminded me of Kit Kats and made me crave Japanese Kit Kats. Like the strawberry ones and the matcha ones and the vanilla ones.
So fucking sad my dad ate all of those goddamn fucking ones I brought home.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
For a second, it looked like you were just yawning.
I was yawning first. And then, yeah, that is exactly what happened.
Moon Angie.
You know what? Speaking of cinnamon and hot chocolate, wasn't that the whole thing in at a
Once
time.
Upon a Time, yeah.
I've
That
been
was
thinking
the
about
thing
going-
that, like, somehow solidified the fact that Emma and Henry were related.
Hmm.
Well, not just Henry and Emma. That was first Snow and Emma.
Yep. Yep.
Which made me sad.
Which, that whole thing is hilarious, because, like, you could just take a DNA test. That would be much easier and more
Yeah,
accurate.
as if they have a doctor who can take DNA in Storybrooke.
I'm pretty sure just because two people happen to like cinnamon hot chocolate doesn't mean that they're blood related.
We're going by storybook rules for everything in that place. It absolutely means you are blood related.
Yeah.
It's just like in the fucking Anastasia. Oh yeah, I remember your perfume smelling like peppermint. Fucking yeah, it's a buried memory, but also, you know.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense if Emma was given away as a small child, like
Mm-hmm.
like 2 or 3, rather than an immediate shove baby in tree. Let's go.
Shove baby into magic wardrobe.
Hey, remember how they sent Pinocchio with her?
Yeah.
Oh, in the storybook world, magic testing's not a thing because they don't believe in magic yet at
Yep.
that time.
Yep. This is Storybrooke before magic. When everybody thought that they were just normal people living in a normal world. And not
And then
all
John
actually
Doe
storybook
and
characters.
Emma and yeah. It's a whole thing. That's
Yeah.
something I was thinking about going full feral though, and rewatching all of Merlin and all of Once Upon a Time at the same time to see what happens to my brain. If it'll just
my
melt out my
God.
ears.
Sounds like torture.
Okay, but I was thinking about watching the Once Upon a Time one specifically because we watched it as it was airing on television. I remember it being agonizing having to sit through Henry's dad,
Yeah.
Neil.
It's a lot different when
It's back to back.
when you're back, yeah, when you're watching it back to back,
Yeah, I figured.
because that's basically what I did. Is I shotgunned the whole Once Upon a Time series, including the
Oh,
no.
final
That's right.
season. Which the final season, I'm just like, it starts off stupid as fuck, but
And then
like,
gets interesting.
the rest of it is actually interesting and actually like good, except for the fact that Rumple is still around.
Yeah, that's the part that blows. Also,
Like, let the man
they,
die.
They had no. Okay, aside from Emma and Henry, which they already know that they are related.
Mhm.
Snow and Emma have no reason to think that they are related because Snow
They
being
don't
Emma's
even look
mom would
alike.
make no sense. Well, Snow and Emma being mother and daughter makes no sense in that time frame because they're about the same age.
Yep.
Because fun, I love that. I'm selling this really poorly, but I really like that show. It was
I will say this much.
absolute
The
soap
first
opera
season.
garbage in certain parts.
The
but
first season
it's
is
fun.
good. The first season is basically the only season I would ever recommend people watch. Because
It's its own contained thing.
it's easily digestible, it's its own contained thing because they didn't think they were going to get more than one season. And then they did get more than one season, and luckily they had prepared for it, but it was all garbage that they prepared for it.
They made it
Yeah.
into a soap opera, which it naturally had to devolve in because you have everything intertwined and you need things to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
there's no two ways about it. You have to make a drama after you tell your succinct story. Also, Coco says, the last time I heard y'all talk about Once Upon a Time was when you told me about the Peter Pan twist, and I still have not mentally recovered.
Yep.
And that's a good twist.
Yep.
A good twist because it's fucking stupid and I love it.
Speaking of series that weren't meant to go past one season, y'all remember Gallivant?
Hold on. My
I
mother's
need
here.
more Gallivant.
When was season 3 when?
Season 3 when? Season 3 never, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in there that they could be playing with especially with regards to Madalena, like I can exactly plot out what probably would have been season 3, and season 3 would have been like half of it following the newlyweds of Isabella and Gallivant, and the other half being an adventure between Gareth and I can't remember Gallivant's old sidekick, but an adventure between those two going off to find Madalena and find out what happened to her and
Sydney?
convince her to not be. Yes, thank you. Finding out what happened to her and trying to convince her not to be on the evil side because Gareth really loves her, and like, it's not that he doesn't want to be evil. He absolutely wants to be evil, but not that kind of evil. Not magic evil. Just
he doesn't
want to
do.
Yeah. God, I love Gallivant so much. And like, it also probably would have been some shenanigans involving Isabella and Gallivant, because those two do not get along and shouldn't be married.
No.
Like
Well, I mean,
that was absolutely an enemies to lovers situation.
Yeah.
But
and then it would end with, you know, them falling back in love with each other and like living happily ever after, and then you could end season 3 as being the finale of the actual show.
I love you.
Way back
Gallivant.
Yeah.
But Gallivant I highly recommend because it's a very tongue-in-cheek type of fantasy show.
What is it perfect on right now?
It what do you call it? It's basically is lampooning everything, but like it also has like a great cast of people. This was like that was the buffer show between Once Upon a Time seasons, correct?
Yep.
And then also they had Anthony Head come in as Gallivant's dad
for one episode, and then they changed him when he actually came back.
Yeah, which was funny. But I mean, you can only probably score Anthony Head's participation so much because he's like retired, I think.
It was even more funny because the fact that like it wasn't just a matter of, you know, him being a completely different actor. He was younger when he came back. He wasn't like looking anything like Anthony Head or looking like an older version of Anthony Head. No, he looked younger. And more like a twink.
Apparently Gallivant right now is on Hulu.
Yeah. It was bought back by Disney from Netflix.
Yeah.
And they just put it onto Hulu. Because it was originally an ABC production, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, it was a literal buffer, like, placeholder show between Once Upon a Time's Mad Lad fucking seasons, because for some reason they were like,
it was only one
season and a half.
Keep in mind, it was only one season because, like, it took a couple years for the second season to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the other buffer show was Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Yeah, which I watched that too, and it wasn't actually that bad once I got used to it.
It had a quality shift because there was more stuff done on CG than not. And I think that kind of sandbagged a lot of the performances because actors, this was a joke on Twitter, but actors need enrichment and scenery to chew on.
Yep.
Yep.
So like, yeah.
But yeah, you know, Gallivant took a while to get its season 2, and then for some reason, season 2, the recurring actor there was Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
He was in there for like at least 2 episodes, if not 3 or 4.
He was a monk.
He was a monk.
That's right, I watched that episode.
You
made me watch that episode specifically.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should have a Gallivant watch party.
We're gonna have to do that in the server at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have to find someone who has Hulu and actually has volume. You don't have volume, unfortunately. Everything you stream is, for some reason, like, super quiet.
Yeah, it decides that it's gonna be, like, in the ground quiet.
Mm.
But yeah, Weird Al Yankovic was in, Gallivant. And I know that's confusing, but he was there.
I feel like that's less confusing than most things Weird Al Yankovic has been in.
Yeah.
Like, him being in My Little Pony was the weird one.
Yeah.
He fucked Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
They had babies.
Yeah.
That was a weird thing that they did with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yep. It's, yeah, I just, I don't want to talk about that.
You know what I was thinking about on the way home, actually, that it is tangential because it also probably aired at the same time as these shows, is, how much Leifule loves, My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, the show. I was thinking about the song, I'm Bi.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just thinking about it's like, okay, like, in the scene, actually, that's not the musical version, do you suppose he just said, I'm bi, and then that was it, and then she made, like, a whole hallucinogenic...
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
That's the twist at the end of the show.
That's nothing funnier than thinking about a man just being like, yeah, I'm bi, and then her mentally is like, oh, I'm gonna hyper-focus this into a musical number right now.
So, that's the thing is, like, so you know how in iZombie they decided to make a joke to actually show what Liz is like when she's having one of her visions? How she's just standing there spaced out?
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening to Rebecca as well. Is when she's doing these musical montages in her head, she's just spaced out and they're just like, Rebecca, hey Rebecca, are you there?
Hello?
Like, that's the big twist at the end, is that it turns out all of this was just in her head, and the fact that she's able to make musicals on the fly is what turns into basically her calling in life. Like, she can turn anything into a musical, and it's just like, that's perfect, though, because you can make so many Broadway musicals like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a whole musical about vehicular manslaughter?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cautionary tale. One of the songs was used in an AMV I watched, and it was really good. And I mean, then there's Dear Evan Hansen, which is terrible.
I don't even know much about Dear Evan Hansen. Like, I know a loose plot synopsis, but that's
okay.
it.
Yeah, basically, I read more about it, and then I watched some stuff about it, and it's like, okay, if it'd just been left as a Broadway show, I think it would have been whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When they took it and made it into a film, that's where it crosses, like, a certain amount of, like, lineage.
Yeah.
Also, the premise overall is disgusting to me, and I don't think I could sit through a musical of it.
Yeah. But yes, Fap, that's basically it, is she disassociates for a few minutes every time that she has a musical montage in her head. And that's what makes, you know, all of her therapists and psychiatrists think that, you know, she needs to be on all these medications to manage her wild imagination. Because technically she does have, like, extreme emotional changes and then hyperfixations and, like I said, hallucinations of magical musical montages. And so, of course, to any normal therapist / psychiatrist, they'd be like, you need to be on some heavy dosage of meds. But then she throws it all in the garbage because she gets this whim to just go off after her ex-boyfriend from when she was a kid.
When she was a kid? I thought he was a recent breakup.
No, she was.
Oh,
it was a high school breakup.
Oh my lord.
They dated for a summer at camp, and then when they left, they broke up.
Oh my.
Or rather, he broke up with her.
Oh my god.
And then so she ends up meeting him, like, on her way to work in New York. Like, he's visiting New York for whatever reason. And she meets him, and she's just like, oh my god, I'm still in love with this guy. And so she follows that fancy, throws all of her pills into the garbage disposal, packs all of her stuff, quits her job because she's an actual lawyer, like, a very prominent lawyer in New York. She quits her job, moves to California just to follow this guy and try and get back to dating him again. And that's where she finds out that he already has like a fiance and all this other stuff, and it's a wild ride for the first season, but like that's one of those shows where like the first season is kind of really questionable. Because
And everything else is better later.
Yeah, everything else, like, it gets better every season, and like actually starts to deal with more heavy issues regarding Rebecca and everything. Like, I'm gonna warn everybody right now, because it does warrant warning. There is an episode about suicide. Because this is, again, a whole series about mental health. So they had to cover that kind of, like, thing that can happen when you're, you know, unmedicated and dealing with severe mental issues.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them mental illness, because it's not, you're not sick in the head. It's just you have things that go on with your brain that don't make sense to other people. Until you can find them.
Neurodivergent.
Exactly. But that's why I do love the show, because like I thought it was a stupid show in the beginning, and then I got further into it, and I'm like, actually, this is a really important show to me.
Excellent. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. But yeah, I should probably like plan for once a month or something to host like a watch party in the Discord server. Maybe do that on Saturdays or something.
Yeah.
Just so that way people who are working during the week can actually spare time to watch things. Although I know the last time that I tried to do it, only a couple people showed up.
I mean,
that happens.
Yeah.
That's okay. I managed to watch all of the Shrek movies, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd never seen like half the Shrek movies.
Oh.
It was the Shrekathon.
Oh my god.
Only 2 or 3 other people showed up. But it was a fun time.
How did I not get to be there for that? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Where was I?
No,
Sleeping?
Vap was definitely there, and I forget who else was there. I don't remember if Zach came in at any point.
No, I remember now. I was with my in-laws.
I don't remember. You said it was last Saturday?
No, I didn't say it was last Saturday. I said it was a Saturday a while ago.
Yeah, no, I was with my in-laws
I think it was back in January.
I don't remember.
I remember the event, I
mean,
just don't remember when it was.
October.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe before the end of this month, I'll take a Saturday and try and stream. Try and stream something to the Discord for watching. And that'll actually make up for the holidays coming up, because obviously I'm going to be streaming less for certain holidays.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anywho.
We still got like 10 minutes to talk.
10 minutes to talk.
I'm thinking about video game.
Which video game?
Video game we're gonna play.
Ah.
Thinking about Mizuki
Mm-hmm.
and things that happened last time.
Oh, do you want me to give you a tin hat?
No.
This is the
Don't
time
need
to tin
one.
hat, so.
Okay, let me
Is
just...
it the time to tin hat?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a tin hat right now? What do you think's gonna happen then?
I'd rather you guys tin hat right now than while we're in the middle of the video.
There's literally no stopping that, though. The brain
yeah.
demands what it wants.
Yeah, because new stuff comes to light mid-video. And we can't help that.
Mm-hmm.
But man,
So you guys seen that Bayonetta thing?
God,
which one?
There you go.
Okay,
The part where there was like people people who are respected, quote unquote, and close to the situation, or close enough to the situation, quote unquote, have said that the figures that were cited were incorrect. I'm still waiting to hear if there's any more. I may have missed out. So if you guys know anything.
Which figures? Are we talking about the one that the Bloomberg article talked about? Or are we talking about the
No,
one that Helena said?
Helena, okay, so I'm pretty sure it was the Bloomberg article is talking about. No.
The Bloomberg
Wait.
article is accusing Helena of lying,
Yes.
according to unnamed sources who do not wish to be named because they are under NDA. It was claimed by Bloomberg that Helena was offered $3,000 to $4,000 for 5 4-hour sessions, meaning that it would have totaled between $15,000 and $20,000 for the entire role.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I've been talking about it all week.
You've been talking about it all week?
Yes.
Yeah. You haven't been there for most of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I keep getting wrangled into doing things outside that make me sweaty and die.
If I remember correctly, that Bloomberg article came out, like, on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all old news.
I know it's old news. I was hoping there was an update.
So far, no. Helena has been quoted by the Bloomberg article as just no longer wanting anything to do with the franchise.
So she actually was contacted for that article then?
Yes. She claims that the numbers that were given by the anonymous sources are lies, and that she just wants to get on with her life and get back into theater and have nothing more to do with the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw a post saying that, like, she was asking for 6 figures, which for how popular Bayonetta is, I don't feel like that's unreasonable.
Yeah.
That's the part I saw wherever it was that made my brain go, okay, but, like, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure y'all can afford that.
Because, like, even if they did, like a minimum of 25, that's still ending up around 1,000K. Or not 1,000, 100K.
Yeah.
100,000.
Which, honestly, I think she deserved between 75K and 100K.
Yeah.
Like, that should be reasonable for the role that she's playing, especially because she's not voicing one character in this Bayonetta, she's voicing 8 Bayonettas.
Yeah.
Right.
All with different motivations, all with different backgrounds, all with different, like, styles to themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like asking someone to voice 8 characters sufficiently and manage to portray that same kind of tone that they want, but with the same voice that she's supposed to do.
Now, if they're paying, like, the 4,000 per character per recording session,
totally different story.
Totally different story. But it's like, they must is like, oh, it's just Bayonetta, it's just one character. It's just like, no, that's not how that works. You can have 2 people named Johnson. If they talk differently and act differently, they're different characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You gotta respect the artists.
One thing we can all agree on is that Jennifer Hale does not deserve to even be bothered about what's going on.
No. And for those who don't know, Jennifer Hale's the new voice actor that they got to fill the role.
Yeah. Who also costs a lot more than Helena Taylor.
Yeah.
That's right. Maybe I was around for one of the conversations, because I seem to remember one of you saying that it was, like, probably because they wanted to drop Helena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they lowballed her.
Which, I mean, I don't know why they would want to, because it's like...
It's... I don't know. Maybe they thought that a more...
It's the same reason why
profile.
Illumination hired Chris Pratt for Mario. It's not about the person who can do it best, it's about who's going to bring in the most amount of money.
Right.
And Jennifer Hale is definitely going to bring in more money than Helena Taylor.
Just more scumbag tactics.
Yeah.
It's weird to think of Jennifer Hale as having a kind of star power like as far as like how you would pick for the voice kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she does
Because
have
she's
star
still a
power.
voice. I mean, it's just that she's still a voice actor and would still be considered like small peanuts if you were to actually compare her and Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
While true,
Like-
she's also one of the most prominent female voice actors in the industry right now.
Yeah, I know. It's just something that would not have occurred to me until you like literally said that.
Ah, my soda's done.
Your soda has been deleted.
Yep, time for a new one.
Soda long.
I'm out.
What?
I'm out
What?
of soda.
Oh no, go get a new one.
Well,
the
Soda
core care
pop,
may be the
soda-
same, but the actual cares are more than just standard version. Exactly. That's the whole thing with like voicing 8 different Bayonettas is like they may all be Bayonetta, however, because of the circumstances that they come from, because it's clear that the trailer's already revealed that this is going to be a multiverse situation. And that timelines are basically collapsing in on each other, which really was the only way that we could have possibly gone with Bayonetta, considering the last 2 games' storyline. Like, at the end of the day, everything has to do with time travel. And by doing the things that they did in the second game, they created multiple universes, and the Bayonetta, who's the main character of this one, is exactly who I thought she was. She's baby Cereza. Which is why she's not actually Bayonetta, she's Cereza. But, that results in having multiple different Bayonettas from different universes and different timelines all coming together to try and save, like, the timeline structure.
God, that reminds me of old Power Rangers episodes where it's like they brought back like Power Rangers from the other generations
Mm-hmm.
to fight a big bad. Except
Mm-hmm.
this time it's sexy.
This is more like... This is more tantamount to what happened in Loki and most likely what happened in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
God, Loki season 2 when?
That's like the only thing that I really want to watch from Marvel, because I enjoyed what happened in that series.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is kind of boring me because they're typical superhero things, but Loki is actually, like, something interesting.
Yeah.
It's a breath of fresh air.
To quote Zangief from Wreck-It Ralph, just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
Well, and that's kind of the thing about Loki as a character, is that he's not really a bad guy. Like, he's a bad guy for one single thing, but every other time he's more of a comical nuisance to an ally.
Right. He's very gray line between anti-hero and ally support. I am Tigress.
Hi, Tigress.
damn it! I forgot my
Yeah.
drink.
Sometimes she's a bad girl. It depends on the universe.
Yeah. It's just, and that's kind of what the whole thing about the Loki series is like dealing with all these different universe versions of himself. And like how it could have changed everything.
Yeah. I'd say my favorite Loki is Alligator Loki.
I have an opinion. It's
Oh,
a
yeah?
bad opinion.
Okay.
What, do you like Kid Loki?
No, my bad opinion is
Hold on.
And
Okay, what did you say? My alarm was going off. I couldn't hear you.
I said I have a bad opinion, and it was I considered watching that show, but then backed out because of him, Owen
Because
Wilson,
of him?
and
Wow.
female Loki.
Wow.
What about them?
The shipping war or conglomerate that was going on with that, it squicked me actually.
The
What are you
what?
talking about?
So, you guys are insulated from this, but unfortunately, some of us still live in a fandom zone.
Hellscape.
Yeah. So on Tumblr, I garnered most of my knowledge about that show from Tumblr, as usual.
So all of it's wrong.
Nope.
All of it's
So
wrong.
I went and looked up the stuff to make sure what the fuck I understood was correct, because especially about the female Loki, and like I just think that the style of storytelling that takes that goes into that show is not to my taste, so it was a good thing I did not watch it.
I mean, if we're going to talk about the relationships that are in the show, the relationships are bland and boring and exactly what you expect. The main male character falls in love with the main female character, and the other main male character is just the buddy cop guy.
Yeah, no, it's also the overall visual stylings and like basically I understand that all of these things come from a homogenized universe now. So they all have a specific aesthetic that they are defined by. And the aesthetic that they put Loki into for his show made my brain go, ew. And it backed away. Aside from the storytelling beats that had to do with the shipping stuff. The shipping stuff was more like, I know Owen Wilson's a good actor, but I could not separate him from his legacy of things he's done.
Wow.
He's
wow.
He's the lead in 7,000 fucking rom-coms and then 7,000 comedy movies, and it was just, which is he now? Going to kiss Loki? I don't know, but he didn't.
No,
Instead, they gave him to the blonde lady, who was Loki.
So Loki's just making love to himself.
Yeah, Loki, like, it's kind of a funny thing because basically Loki can only love himself. He can't love anybody else, which, like, is perfect for describing Loki. Loki is a narcissist through and through. The only person he could ever love is himself. And that's kind of the thing about it. But, surprisingly enough, no, Owen Wilson actually played, not to use this term in results of sexuality, but he played the straight man. He actually played the no-nonsense guy. And I think that that was a good move just because it breaks him out of the mold that he's been, you know, typecasted in constantly. It also shows that he can be funny without being a funny ha-ha guy. Which, I mean, I liked that. As far as fandom shipping goes, fandom is always like this, where they want the two male characters to get together instead of, like, the actual shipping that happens.
No, I mean, like, they were super on board with her, too. It was a war, plus a why can't we polyamory, plus a some other shit. Like, it was... I can only take this to an equivalent space of Tori versus Undertale. I already didn't really like the visual stylings of the show, and then I just was seeing it constant stream, and the tagging system at the time was not working, so.
I mean, that's fair. Like, once you put it in context of, like, my relationship with Undertale, that makes sense as to why you didn't like it. You were basically over inundated with the content of the show to the point that it made you hate it.
Which is, like, really sad because I really liked the Thor trilogy.
Right.
I haven't seen the fourth one because I had no interest in continuing with Marvel after I saw Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Especially since I don't know if you've seen it, but the Thanos movies suck a chode. Ugh.
Yes, I've seen the Thanos stuff.
Yeah. Because of the basically negative character development, like reductive sort of. We're changing this because we are changing it. Fuck you.
Yes, no, I understand. It's terrible what they did to Thor.
Well, not just that, but other characters too. Thor's was like the most jarring.
Need for that. Thor.
Trust me, I didn't like the Thanos movies, especially the second one, because it felt too different from the comics.
Well, and
because the comics are supposed to go a certain way, and the way that they decided to write Steve Rogers out was a weird way to do it, because he had finally just gotten over Peggy.
That's exactly my
Yeah.
problem with that. Like, that is the cheapest, shittiest, worst way to. You're saying he sat through JFK being assassinated by who he knew it was his friend doing the assassination? You're telling me that Steve motherfucking Rogers, America's ass, was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let my friend rot so I can
Well,
preserve this time so I can live with Peggy till she dies, and then I die.
I mean,
The fuck off.
I I would think he's smart enough to know not to mess with the timeline like that, though.
But
No. The
apparently
thing
he's
is, it
not.
doesn't matter. They already messed with the timeline. That's why we have all the other shows in the first place.
Right.
It doesn't matter. At that point, you've established that the time space continuum has no impact and therefore is imminently fuckable. That's why you have the Doctor Strange movie. That's why you have the Spider-Man Far From Home movie. Like, there's consequences technically, but not consequences where the timelines collapse, like with Bayonetta's stuff. Like, the timelines are collapsing because of consequences that spiral outward.
Right. Well, and that's supposed to kind of be like what the whole thing with the Loki series is because like everything that happens in the Marvel timeline is set to happen that way, as explained in the Loki movie.
The Loki series.
They already established
Series.
But they already established that the multiverse is already a wreck and cannot be fixed and is different no matter what.
Well,
it's
kind of more that the Loki series is establishing how that particular universe was being kept in line and then showing the destruction of it. Like, the Loki series leads up to what you're talking about, and it's partially Loki's fault that everything's happening this way.
Partially. Not fully this time. Only partially.
But he's still that alter Loki. The one that took the thing and disappeared.
The Tesseract, yeah.
Yeah.
He's an alter version of Loki instead of, like, the Loki who got killed.
Yeah. The only thing that moved me that I absorbed from the clockwork oranging of my psyche that went on Tumblr was they had, my brain wants to call him Morbius. His name's not Morbius, right?
Morbius.
Oh, Owen Wilson. His name's not Morbius in that show, right?
I don't think so.
I think it is.
Because Morbius is also the vampire guy in Marvel. Anyway, Owen Wilson shows Loki how he died.
Yeah, it's Thor. Mobius,
not
Morbius. Okay.
Yeah, Mobius is a different character.
Okay, Mobius. Yeah, I know they're different characters. I just was like, why can't I come up with his real name? Mobius shows Loki how Thor died for him, or not Thor died for him, how he died for Thor.
Yeah.
And how, like, there was the emotional. Yes, Marco knows the memes from Tumblr. Thank you. It's Morbin time. And that was, like, legitimately moving because as a person who dabbles constantly in things that of a timeline fuckery nature, it's like, oh yeah, here's how you speedrun an emotional whiplash. This is perfect. Like, damn. Yeah. Just punch the man in the solar plexus. See how you died for your brother if you just stopped being a dickhead?
Yeah.
Like, granted, no one wants to die.
But at the same time, like, when Loki, because Loki actually gets to see his own death in the show Loki. I should mention, there's going to be Loki spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's been out for a year. Or 2.
Has it only been a year? I thought it was like 2 years now.
It might be 2. But, Loki sees his own death and it kind of, like, shakes him to his core that, like, that's how he dies. Because he sees it as a pathetic way of dying.
Yeah.
Instead of what you're talking about where he is this, like, having this change of heart all of a sudden.
And not change of heart, like, chagrined and, like, it's just like if you saw your own death, contextless of who the other person was, basically. Because he doesn't know why he would even think that way. He's the several years before Loki, not the several years after.
Yeah, he's the one who hasn't gone through Ragnarok or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Loki that died went through Ragnarok and experienced what that was like. So,
you know,
he has a reason to give up his life for his people.
he didn't get to pretend to be his dad for a whole year and then have his brother come home and he'd be like, oh no, uh-oh, whoopsie. That's hands down just a good movie.
Yeah, unlike you who enjoyed the Thor movies, I actually hated the Thor movies up to Ragnarok.
The only reason I started enjoying them was because I rewatched them with my mom. I hated the original Thor. I was bored when I watched that the first time.
I feel like I'd still be bored if I watched it again.
It how do you say?
The family drama's too much for me. It's too stupid.
After having seen the worst of Marvel,
mm-hmm.
that I can say that was an actually pretty average film, but one of their better ones compared to what they've got going now.
Yeah, it's just for me the biggest issue that I have with it is the whole, like...
Yeah.
The whole reason why all of this is happening is because there's family drama.
Yeah, no, and that's something
that's stupid beyond belief.
Well, it all gets you get the understanding and payoff most of all in Ragnarok because Ragnarok is thoughtfully written, whereas the writing in 1 and 2 is not super shallow, but too shallow for audience investment to be there for more than when it's shown on screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the thing that kind of makes you feel things in the second movie is because of certain deaths that happen in the film that, you know, have actually decent pacing, like, in their place in the narrative, so. Like, the second movie isn't very good either, but
no, it isn't.
I love Christopher Eccleston playing a dark elf. He did his damnedest to
that was the only reason I enjoyed
him job. Yeah. Also, I liked Loki's death. That was pretty funny. And by pretty funny, I mean thank you post-credit scene where he's just not dead.
Yep. The mom's death was also something that, like, not to sound like an ass or anything, but I did enjoy that scene just because of what actually was the implications of the death. It wasn't just a death for, like, no point or no reason. It's just like, no,
like, shock factor.
Yeah. It's like, no, she has a reason as to why she's doing this, and it's because she cares about her sons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, hands down, fuck Odin, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he caused every problem in his life.
He's kind of like Zeus.
I would say that he's worse than Zeus, because, like, at least Athena came out okay.
Well, that's why I said kind of like Zeus, because they basically have that same role of being the all-father who fucks everything up.
Yeah.
But alright, we should probably get into the game.
Time for family drama.
Family drama.
Well, posthumous family drama, since both Renju and his wife are dead.
Yeah.
Mizuki's not.
It could be.
But he could be. But we hope not.
We don't know. Shit was still gonna happen.
Excuse me. I mean, he was not dead in the past, where we thought he was probably dead.
Ooh. I was talking about Mizuki. Mizuki could still die.
Oh, well, that would be stupid. She is the bestest baby protagonist.